Dark Souls gives you a huge variety of weapons: swords, spears, axes, magic, giant hammers. But in this run, I'm throwing that all away and beating the entire game using only faith scaling weapons. Just pure holy damage, the kind of stuff the gods actually intended. Probably. So while I think of a name for my character, I end up going with IBI Miracles. The rules: I can only use faith scaling weapons, and I have to kill all bosses. But at the beginning, I will be using the mace. As much as I want to hit the Silent Demon for 15 minutes, the mace will be temporarily blessed by the gods. So technically it's a faith weapon in my eyes. So, just like that, this Silent Demon will go down pretty quickly. I'll only be using the mace for this one boss. Let's just say a miracle of convenience. And just like that, after he slams down, the demon goes down. But the first thing we do once we escape the asylum is running to get Astora's straight sword. This will be the first weapon of the run, or true weapon. We finally pick up the weapon, Astora's straight sword. The poison dagger's pasted to his back though. The Taurus demon falls pretty quickly. Nothing to note here. Just roll and slice the ankles. Then let's just make it to the bonfire on our first try. No issues there. You didn't see nothing. And we finally go and have a look at how costly upgrading our weapons is, and we say no. Getting to the gargoyles was a little bit of an issue, let's just say that. Once the channeler finally dies, or should I say, once it dies, we visit Lautrec. He goes down with no issues at all, but compared to the channeler, this was a piece of piss. Just like that, Lautrec's down. Next stop is the gargoyles. Restore a straight sword, keeps doing solid work here. Not insane damage, but consistent and safe. 2 gargoyles later, the bell will be rung. Then it's off to the catacombs to get our next weapon, because I was not feeling the Astora's greatsword, and after a couple of fails, we get to Patches and give him a bit of our sword. And then we finally acquire the Crescent Axe, which we can't use yet. Then it's off to Blighttown, where the final exam for the Astora's greatsword begins. Even with his modest faith scaling, the sword holds up surprisingly well, and Quelaag eventually goes down. We ring the second bell of awakening, and that marks the point where I finally meet the requirements of the Crescent Axe, and instantly I regret not using this weapon sooner. This weapon slaps. It has high damage, insane reach, and great stagger. This run just leveled up. I go back on myself to go revisit the boar with some varying results. But after some panic, he will go down. But after some panic, he thinks he can run away. I tell him that's not happening here. Then it's off to the Capra Demon after unlocking the shortcut. Capra Demon's a joke. After I get rid of the dogs, and after this failed attempt. Yeah, it didn't go well here. But once the dogs are slain, this fight is a joke. Just look at that damage. I think I've upgraded it once, if that at this point, but look at that damage. It's beautiful. I use them souls to be able to one-hand my axe. and I never looked back. Now it's time for the gaping dragon. Hello there. It's way easier when your weapon actually can hit the body and the fucking channeler isn't alive. The channeler basically causes my death here. Yeah. So I paid him a visit, got rid of him, and then the gaping dragon goes down with 0 issues. Then it's off to the asylum to kill the stray demon, which was extremely easy, and pick up the doll. Don't forget the doll. We upgrade our axe again. Then it's time for Sense Fortress. But with the damage we have, it was a cakewalk. Absolutely no issues here. Will I make the jump on my first try? Yes, I will. We grab the cage key, unlock the shortcut, pay a visit to our giant, slay the giant, and then it's time for the Iron Golem. Yeah, we got good stagger. This won't be an issue. And it wasn't. Now it's time for Anal Londo. I wasn't ready. After persuading the Black Knight to go off the edge, it was time for ONS. ONS is always a skill check, but the Crescent Axe actually makes this one of the smoother ONS fights I've had. Big swings, clean punishes, and they're dead. We then grab the Lord Vessel, attempt to make Anal Londo dark, we cannot reach, we'll have to come back later. So it's time to place the Lord Vessel so I don't forget. It's the first time I've ever done this. Then it's time for the Painted World. Thanks to the doll we didn't forget earlier. Hey, wait, what? Why the fuck grab me like that? No, shit. Yeah. The crows weren't nice. Priscilla is a gentle soul, but this is a challenge run, so she has to go. The Crescent Axe didn't care for all invisibility, it just swings, and just like that, Priscilla is dead. We head off to kill the Hydras, free Dusk. She'll come in handy later. So we just freed her now. There's time for the Moonlight Butterfly. Yeah, this wasn't a fight, this was a slaughter. That's a 1-down butterfly. Yeah. Then Sif. Every Souls player knows how this goes. As soon as he starts limping, any emotional armor you had breaks harder than your poise bar. But the challenge run must go on. We grab the broken pendant and head off to sea. Thank God I chucked the paint and armor on, otherwise I would have been cursed. We unlock the shortcut and then it's time for sea. The first attempt goes well, considering the crabs got in. But after that, I just hugged him. And just like that, Seath goes down. Another shard of the Lord Soul is collected. Then comes Izalift. Izalift? Wherever I said. Ceases discharge. Dies extremely easily. We just do the sea skip. Then it's time for Stray Demon 2.0. Other than this, he goes down pretty easily. Then it's time for the Centipede Demon, which we actually fight normally. Which was surprisingly easy. Then the Bed of Chaos. Yeah. So about this, I actually found this the hardest I've ever found it. He wasn't playing nice today. He really wasn't playing nice. The second route goes down, and then I go down again. And then after that, he goes down. Thank fuck for that. Then it's time for Pinwheel. I'm not even going to say anything here, there's no need. Other than this surprisingly butt-clenching moment. He goes down. Now what master do we get? What master do we get? Hey, that's pretty fucking good. We finish off the hollows down here in Tomb of Giants. We say hello to Paladin Leroy and say goodbye just as quick. Realise we can't use the grant unless we get 50 strength. Head off to Nito. After killing his skeletons, I just pulled him to the side. He goes down without much of a fuss. Now, new Londo. New Londo. We finally got the key to the seal, and then it's time for the 4 kings. Or in my case, the 5 kings, because Dark Souls hates me. Now it's time for the DLC. The Sanctuary Guardian that teaches me not to drink my Sunny D in bad spots. After that he goes down. I say hello to Kalameet, you're later. Now it's time for Artorias. This didn't go well. Eventually, frustration took over, so instead of getting good, I decided to get petty. I left the arena muttering like an NPC, having a breakdown. I went on a side quest to get every ring that might be potentially useful to me. I grabbed the Darkmoon Seance ring and the Covenant's Serpent ring. I went and killed Gwyndolin. The poor guy didn't even get the chance to monologue. I just ran down his hallway like a disgruntled Amazon delivery driver. He never stood a chance. And then I went and farmed a lot to be able to use the Grant Hammer, which didn't go well. So I went and grabbed the Havel's ring to be able to roll with it. After several humbling attempts, I realised the Grant wasn't the holy weapon I needed. Time to return to the Crescent Axe. The one true faith weapon, and the one what got us over the edge. Finally. Artorias finally fell. Clean spacing, which didn't happen. Consistent punishes, to me. And then he fell. Manus. Feeling confident after Artorias, I went straight to Manus, and that confidence lasted exactly 4 seconds. This boss hits like a truck, tracks like a homing missile, and punish mistakes harder than my tax account. I died a lot. There's probably going to be a death montage here. At some point during the suffering, I rage quit Manus and went straight to fight Kalameet instead. After Gloff shoots him down for me, the dragon has his wings clipped for the impending fight. Which didn't actually go that bad, other than a couple of moments. Oh, my ears, my ears, my ears! Stop, 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 stop! That obviously resulted in my death. But funny enough, it only took 2 tries. After pulling out the Grant, which somehow worked on this boss, the giant Abyss Dragon is easier than Manus. Now it's back to Manus. At this point, I accepted the truth. I was not beating Manus today, or tomorrow, or maybe ever. And since I'm not a gamer, and I'm also on a deadline, Manus officially gets skipped. He can keep his Abyss. I'm sure it's lovely this time of the year. So with Manus behind me, spiritually, emotionally, geographically, I headed straight for the final boss, Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, the final relic of a world powered by faith, which is perfect, because so am I. Let's finish this. After one failed attempt, Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, goes down to one final parry. We link the fire, and that officially marks the challenge run complete, but also failed, because I did not kill Manus. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, because there'll be more challenge runs coming up, and hopefully in them I kill Manus. Peace.